So we are in Pasadena, California, the home of the Rose Bowl and the Tournament of Roses, and also the home of Mike Bacon. We have Mike. I just was with Mike for a little while, and he's got a beautiful house. How long have you been living out here, Mike?
We've been in Pasadena for, it just turned 15 years last week.
I see. Well, you are a real Californian now, it seems.
I have to say so. We've on and off, we've been here since 1978, and except for a couple of years in New Orleans, we've lived here and there in the Los Angeles area since then.
Yeah, I just met your dear wife, Vicki, and I know you not only have children, but you have grandchildren.
Tell me. Yeah, and we would love to have more, but both of the kids are getting up there, and it's probably too late for any more. So we get to spoil just one. All the spoils go to one.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do an excellent job at spoiling that.
We're going to do our best.
I think out of all the class members, Mike Bacon has probably lived the most colorful life of anyone, and I mean that in a good sense. I guess you could take that both ways.
Yes, you could.
But it's amazing. He's gotten involved in all sorts of different things, including music. A lot of you, when we graduated, they're playing out a country date called The Counts. Now, tell me about The Counts. Who was in it again?
The Counts the band was started by Joe Hickey, who was class of '60, and had in it Stan Leidig, who was also class of '60. I was the only class of '61 because Bill Oakey wasn't officially class of '61 until the next year. So there's Joe, Stan, me, Oakey, Marshall Young, and Dewey Dempsey out of Priory. And we always considered ourselves ahead of our time, in the same vein as the Rolling Stones, who like to play that jungle music.
And then you started filling. I guess you got together with other people and other bands, and you were even a front. What do they call the person that does the vocals? That also.
Yeah, the front man. Yeah.
You were the front man.
I didn't like it at all, but much later I had to do it a few times, and that's one of the things that got me out of that racket.
I see.
I didn't have the voice to be a front man, and I really didn't have the personality.
Oh, so I think you're too modest.
I much preferred being a side man.
I see. And then you got an opportunity to play with Bo Diddley's band.
Yeah, that was a great experience. As I was telling you earlier, he was not nearly as wild as his reputation was when he came up with Bo Diddley and Diddy Wah Diddy and Diddley Daddy and Bring It On Home, Bring It to Jerome, any of that. He was gee, I guess he had to be close to 20 years older than when that came out, and he'd mellowed out quite a bit. And while not being a father figure, he gave me a few good bits of advice, and I always have a soft spot for him.
Now, what's amazing is you never really had any formal education at playing the guitar. You just kind of were self-taught.
Yeah, I pretty much taught myself, and when you're self-taught, you tend to teach yourself some bad habits too, and I'm no exception to that. And, there are certain aspects of playing where I wish I'd had more formal training, but my ear took care of a lot of things, and while it didn't take care of the mistakes, it got me through some rough situations.
Well, you're very talented. And the thing that I just learned about was that you filled in for Carl Wilson with the Beach Boys back in the 60s.
That was lucky break. In 1962, well, for the year after I graduated Country Day, because I didn't get into Brown right away, my parents thought it was a good idea for me to go to prep school, so I went to Lawrenceville for a postgraduate year, and met a guy there who knew I could play, and he played some. So we got together, started a little band, and at the end of the year, he wanted me to come out and visit him for the summer in Los Angeles, and I was lucky enough to do so. We played little places here and there, and he had a friend who, I didn't tell you this, his friend later on ended up producing Three Dog Night's first record. But anyway, this friend had some connections with the Beach Boys, and because Carl Wilson was sick, they needed a sub, and this guy recommended me and sent me over to see Brian Wilson, and lucky for me, I got to play one night with them.
My goodness. So did you play those songs that they're famous for, from Pet Sounds?
No. That was much later. I played, they did a lot of Chuck Berry type things, and some Four Freshmen type harmonies, as most people probably know. But that was right after their first big hit, Surfin' Safari, had come out, so we got to play that. The show was only, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. It went by real quickly for me, but there was lots of screaming girls, and we were out in the sun at this amusement park on Santa Monica Pier, so it was a great Southern California experience for me.
My goodness, amazing. Now, you would think of a musician, especially a rock musician, would probably try to end his career or continue his career on instead of making a career change. But can you believe Mike Bacon made a career change, and of all things, went into a field that I could never begin to understand, much less do it. He went into computer programming. Now, did you teach yourself that, or?
No, actually, I as I told you a couple hours ago, that I was mildly forced out of the music business because my kids were growing up, and we needed better money. I never made a good living as a musician. I just had a lot of fun. Anyway, I had to take a 9-to-5, and so I started out doing temp work, and fell in with a guy who was gonna. He started his own medical billing business. Took me and another guy down to a radiology office in Anaheim, California, and anyway, he bought a computer, and I became the computer operator along with doing some data entry, and one thing led to another, and I kind of got interested and was talking to the house that did the programming, did the application for this medical billing company, and he thought I had a good aptitude, so he sort of said, you want to make more money, you seem interested in this, go take class. So I did night school, and learned that way, and then I got hired to do programming through his company.
What amazing! What a amazing career path!
It's now just a job, and soon it will be all over.
Mike, thank you very much. It's been awfully nice talking to you.
Thank you, Lee.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.